What is up, everybody? We are here in the Tron Cave. I am Daryl Tron, and we are here today to check out Come the Freex, a behind-the-scenes look at my latest music video, Freex Out. All right, let's get it in. Freex Out is the flagship single for my upcoming album, Record Street. As with the rest of the album, Freex Out is a departure from my previous albums, sonically. It still does have a very similar vibe in a lot of ways. It's very tronic, as I like to say, but I definitely revamped my sound. I upgraded my studio during the quarantines of 2020 and just stayed inside. And I learned everything I could about different production techniques. Since I was able to take time off work for a while and focus on music almost exclusively, I thought this would be an ideal time to do something different, and I could invest a huge amount of time into reinventing myself. So basically, Freex Out is an introduction to a new era of Daryl Tron, and I wanted to do something not too different, but just enough that people would notice something fresh about it right away. As far as the overall concept of the video, Freex Out was originally meant to be part of the Songs of Life and Love album series, as I wrote it back then, during the era that I was working on that, so early 2000s. That's why it has a similar arrangement and subject matter. And like I was saying earlier, it definitely has a different feel sonically compared to what I put out with that album series. The story behind it, however, remains the same. And in this case, it talks about materialism, how it relates to love and relationships, and a narrative on the often vapid nature of our capitalistic society. A couple of other tracks on Record Street share this sentiment. Money Don't Grow on Trees, Money, and It Ain't Funny. They also fit within this theme. So the first two were originally conceived many years earlier, and they were also meant to be part of the Songs of Life and Love album series as well. However, I had to make a decision about what songs to keep and which songs to put on another project. And that's always a process because I want to keep every song, but then I'll end up having an album that's 50 songs long. Who's ready for a 5-disc album set, right? It works out though because I like how the songs I transported over to this album pair with the other tracks already meant to be on there. It doesn't always work that way, and I'm very conscious about the flow of the album overall, as I don't just want a collection of songs, but a cohesive concept. I'll end up just saving the songs for a different project and then shifting songs around all the time. And I mean, the album's even called Record Street, and album nerds will know what I mean. It's gotta flow just right. Now, as far as It Ain't Funny, that was actually the first song I came up with for the album, so it's relatively recent. And I was just feeling that theme still for that particular song, even though it was part of the new batch of songs, and I know I'd already covered that theme with the previous albums. So yeah, I had a microKORG, paired it with a high-quality drum sample, and I was looking to try some new things in the studio, having just finished Songs of Life and Love. And the result was of a higher production value than anything else I'd done before, as I moved away from cheaper synths, stock plugins, and stock drum sounds. This was more organic, more high quality, and more professional sounding in general. So I realized I'd have to step my game up to match the level of this track. It was good though, because it pushed me to go in a different direction, which is what I needed anyways. Releasing the Songs of Life and Love album series was a way of putting out a lot of the backlog from my earlier era, and now that I was caught up with that, it was time to switch things up. While I was at it, I decided to revamp Freex Out with a different, more amped up instrumental part. Same lyrics, except I realized this other instrumental I had felt more exciting, and it paired better with the rest of the album. And of course, also as important, it fit perfectly with the lyrics that I'd already had. Real quick as a side note, the third track on the album, Passion, is actually the oldest one technically, over 30 years old. Only thing is, I didn't actually start fleshing it out as a song until I started working on this album. To be honest, I was waiting to produce it at the right time. I really wanted to do it justice. The one after that, Money, is in a similar category as this. Only difference is I came up with it about a decade afterwards, so also early 2000s. I have a lot of songs in my vault, and when I feel they'll fit a certain project, like I was saying, if they flow well together as an album, then I'll go ahead and put it down. As for the visuals of the video itself, what's cool is, the night before I sat down to start writing the script for Freex Out, I ran into the cameraman, Jeff, and we were tossing some ideas around about what we might do in the video. I had literally just finished the previous video about our love, which was the final release from the album series I mentioned earlier, Songs of Life and Love. I was ready to start thinking about the next album's video. Jeff asked me a bit about the concept of the video and how I'd convey it visually, And since I hadn't actually sat down and brainstormed the concept, I wasn't even sure. I just knew that I wanted to do something about money and romance and the interplay between them. So later that night, I put on a movie from the 80s, Sandra Bullock's second film, A Fool and His Money, and the alternate title is Religion Inc., Religion Incorporated. And it was just a movie I needed to see because it expressed the message I was going for, but in an even broader way than I'd expressed it before. The premise was about a man struggling to find his place in the world, to be more successful, and he receives a message from God. This inspires him to start his own religion, one based on selfishness and greed. Mind you, this is not what God intended for him, at least not directly, but it at least served as a lesson in the long run. So it gave me the idea to incorporate religious symbolism. This worked out perfectly, as this track had an even more prominent gospel feel than many of the others. The soulful vocals, the organ riffs, and the fact that I'd been inspired to initially play a quasi-Prince character worked out nicely. The Prince thing started, by the way, because of the drums. It has that Minneapolis sound to it. But again, adding the religious theme later just enhanced it. So this movie was expressing how business was affecting the world in general. And I would say not even religion, but especially religion. At one point, the guy who's appointed head of the church even says religion is a business. Of course, the 80s are portrayed as a heyday for consumer culture booming in general, millionaires being made overnight. The me generation had already kicked off, so focus on oneself and luxury, big spending was a thing. Michael Douglas as Gordon Gekko in the '87 movie Wall Street even said greed is good, and Madonna pretty much summed it up with Material Girl, capturing the zeitgeist of the 80s extravagance. The televangelist thing was really taking off too, so that overlap of religion and business is also there, to be sure. Plus, since this video evokes 80s excess, that worked out nicely. This movie helped inspire me to tap into these concepts. However, now let me stop real quick. How much of this is actually true? Are they just concepts? I ran across this article, and it's about the greed stereotype of the 80s being false. Check it out. And this is courtesy of Mental Floss.
One way to define greed is by the amount of charitable giving being done, or lack thereof. By that metric, the 80s saw unprecedented generosity. In 1980, Americans gave roughly $65 billion to charity. By the end of the decade, that number had grown to over $100 billion. As a percentage of national income, that's far higher than it was in the 25 years prior to 1980. Was all that generosity a result of greater wealth? Could be. But the growth in charitable giving outpaced what people in the 80s were spending on material goods. Giving grew 68% that decade over decades prior, while total consumer spending grew 48%. In the United States, income tax rates were slashed on the highest earners, but for much of the decade, they were still higher than today's top rates. In the 1980s, the number of millionaires in the country went from 2.8 million to 3.2 million, but twice as many new millionaires were minted in the 1990s. Yes, many brokers liked flashy watches and suits. Madonna had a hit with Material Girl. But does flashy equal greedy? Greed typically means hoarding as much as you can. Record charitable giving doesn't support that idea.
I even asked AI what it thought, quote unquote, about this phenomena. Like it or not, Copilot provides some pretty interesting answers. It said,
while the 1980s did have elements of excess and greed, it's important to recognize the broader context and the positive aspects as well. Pop culture often simplifies and dramatizes historical periods, which can lead to misconceptions.
It also cites high-profile corporate scandals and insider trading cases, such as those involving figures like Michael Milken and Ivan Boesky, contributing to the perception of greed. Pop culture has a way of distilling specific situations and using them to create a much broader feel for cultural influence. It's an exaggeration, if you will. And this holds true whether we're talking about 1985 or 1985 BC. Every era is distorted through our modern lens. So why, then, would this idea be promoted? Sensationalism, for one. It makes these times seem exciting. And did make them exciting during the times as well. So the media in general, newspapers, magazines, advertisers, people just looking to promote their product, whether it be clothes, movies, etc., They knew that people just liked the idea of being rich, the idea that anyone could be very wealthy. And even if they never were, selling people this idea was lucrative. Getting rich from people that wanted to be rich. And to this day, you can still buy a fake Rolex, Gucci bag, or whatever. There's a market for it, and people will buy it. Being flashy is nothing new, of course, but the 80s really kick-started it as a major trend in the modern world that we know as today. And also considering how the media loves to spin things to grab attention. Those high-profile corporate scandals and insider trading cases, they were widely publicized, contributing to the perception of widespread greed. It made for a juicy story. It makes sense that they'd want to hype this up. And also, there was a change in economic policies, creating wealth in some sectors, and therefore larger inequality of income. And again, as with any era, we sort of summarize it, simplify it. It makes it easier, categorizing a certain era with its stereotypes and everything. A bit like how we would divide parts of a movie into different chapters on a DVD. And I know that's probably considered retro by now, but it makes it easier to sort through and organize it. We get a sort of flow in terms of decades. Then the further we move into the past, by centuries, and in even longer periods of time, we culturally, overall, don't recognize the differences between, say, 1850s and 1870s. But now if we're talking 1950s and 1970s, we'll for sure have those summarized versions ingrained in our imagination. 50s, we think pompadours, black and white TV. 70s, we think bell-bottoms, muscle cars, disco, all that stuff. We're closer to that time, and plus the 20th century is well known for its vastly changing styles. Progress was so that each decade has its own very unique feel, more so than with previous centuries. Anyhow, even though this perception of 80s greed isn't entirely true, something key that I take away from it is this: that this era was a seminal time in our society, setting a tone for culture in general, and establishing a pillar in the way we think about technology, economics, fashion, identity, you name it, everything. It's no wonder we often look back to this time, the dawn of the digital age, with its mythos. In this way, I wanted to convey these ideas in the video, as I do with many of them, about how this time connects to them, and you can still see its remnants. And of course, pop culture, as it does, has gone back to these roots. Shows like Stranger Things, countless remakes and films, some of the fashions have returned, and of course, as with myself along with many other recording artists, music. Now I want to talk about the religion thing. I even went as far as adding this controversial sign in the video. I am not against the church per se. I'd like to clarify what's going on here. Like I was saying earlier, going back to a fool and his money. I was simply making a statement about how the church is affected by business and politics, forms of power, and that people can misuse this. I could see where someone would interpret it as I was saying the church is greedy and corrupt. But there's a nuance to this, though. Yes, religion has been a part of some pretty heinous things. No institution is perfect. Now that statement in itself is controversial. So many want to believe in the sanctity of the church. But it makes sense that people's best and worst would be revealed in something as powerful as religion. There's a lot at stake. And it's not realistic to think that something as powerful as the church would be exempt from those looking to expand their wealth and power. And by acting as God's ambassador, it's just too easy and too tempting for us as a species to not act upon it. And besides, isn't temptation one of the first things covered in the very book they read? In the movie, they even add this section, the one I mentioned earlier.
Dr. Clarity, don't you think that this is setting a dangerous precedent by mixing religion and business?
As far as I'm concerned, religion is business. Like any other corporation, we're simply providing a service that satisfies our customers' desires.
Besides, we're just capitalizing on a demand that's been around for a long time. We wouldn't have been so successful otherwise.
To be fair, the aim of the church is ambitious, to spread the word on a global level. This is an earth-changing mission, and you'd better believe it. You're going to need money at some point, and a lot of it. So I see why this newfound religion cuts straight to the point. It doesn't make any qualms about money. This church needs it to make it through. Why lie about it? It's like anything else, though. It's a mixed bag. There's things I like about it, and there's things that I don't. But so many different people are involved in this complex thing called religion. And the want of money isn't necessarily sinful in itself. I'll get to that in a bit. Firstly, though, let me draw a distinction even further between Christianity and religion. They're the same thing, right? Well, a lot of scholars can't even agree on the definition of religion. The Macmillan Encyclopedia of Religion states,
The very attempt to define religion, to To find some distinctive or possibly unique essence or set of qualities that distinguish the religious from the remainder of human life is primarily a Western concern. The attempt is a natural consequence of the Western speculative, intellectualistic, and scientific disposition. It is also the product of the dominant Western religious mode, what is called the Judeo-Christian climate, or, more accurately, the theistic inheritance from Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. The theistic form of belief in this tradition, even when downgraded culturally, is formative of the dichotomous Western view of religion. That is, the basic structure of theism is essentially a distinction between a transcendent deity and all else, between the Creator and His creation, between God and man.
From our modern Western perspective, to think that people at certain times and places didn't even have a term or concept for what we know as religion is probably kind of a mind blower. Of course, when we see these various cultures going about their lives, whether it be through travel or in the movies or seeing them here in our own country, and they're engaging in certain traditions, rituals, what have you, we think, oh, that's the religion. They don't necessarily think of it in that way, though. It's just a part of their day-to-day life. And the idea of secular and non-secular doesn't even occur to many. That's a whole other documentary, so I'll leave it at that. I know we have other things to do. And to sum it up, I have mixed feelings about religion, but Christianity in itself isn't even a religion, just a form of spirituality. To break it down, my definition of religion is that it's more of the economic, political, social, and other exterior factors. So I'm not against Jesus, the Bible, nothing like that. I think it's important to remember that the way we view them has been heavily influenced by the centuries of history of the church and whatnot. And again, even the church has its merits. My point is more about the worship of money itself. They even cover this in Timothy 6:10.
For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil. Some people, eager for money, have wandered from the faith and pierced themselves with many griefs.
We could get all deep and go into how money is inherently evil, a system of control that really we shouldn't even need it at all. Ideally, yes. I'll mark that down as a future documentary as well. But in the meantime, I'll stay on track with why I'm using the themes of religion. I'm using the religious aspect as a metaphor to express this idea, of treating money itself as a religion. There's an overlap, of course, as I'd already gone over, with this in the church, but that's not my primary concept. I don't expect everyone to accept this said nuance, though. Some people will just see it as church, bad. I get it. I could have just as easily made a Buddha out of coins to represent this, but in America, having it as the Christian church places it more within the context of something we can identify. I mean, come on, work with me, guys. If you're a Christian, hopefully you can understand why I didn't want to use a coin Buddha. As a matter of fact, the very first scene we went to film was in front of the Catholic Church, and the sign was supposed to be in the scene. A few gentlemen who worship there saw the sign, and one of them said outright, "This is offensive." So we just went ahead and left because at that point, I don't see any success in trying to explain any of this. Also, that's the second time that being told to leave was actually beneficial to the video. The first time was actually during the filming of my very first video, This Way. We were at where the old Fredericktown Mall used to be, and the owner of the property saw us. He got mad and, well, he wasn't so nice about it. But once again, though, it was cool because the location we ended up using was much more industrial, more ramshackle, more of what I was going for. It worked out, though, because we ended up filming in front of one that had the classic steeples. It had a much more epic, cinematic feel. We got the main part where we were out front. We decided to film out back, behind the church, when some members of the church approached us and said we had anti-church literature, or something along those lines, and we had to leave. But we'd already gotten the scenes we needed, though, so it was all good. Plus, they were really nice about it. I might actually join them. On an interesting side note, Danny Joy herself comes from a Mormon background, but she has since distanced herself from the church. So now that you have an idea about the concept of the video, I can jump right in. Okay, so the video is basically about what role money plays in relationships, to sum it up. I'm singing Living in a Box by the band Living in a Box. I guess that was their theme song. I'm doing this to set the tone, as I'm also playing a homeless person in the video. The Prince character I was telling you about, he represents the wealth and excess aspect I was talking about earlier as well. And I also have this homeless character to represent poverty. This contrast provides a narrative on how we view different people. of different economic status. And being about relationships, I use this particular character as a way of expressing that, but it could also be about how money affects people in general. Out of convenience and curiosity, I once again asked AI what the song is about. Its response:
The lyrics of the song describe the feeling of being trapped in a monotonous or confining situation, metaphorically referring to it as living in a box. It touches on themes of urban isolation, the pressures of modern life, and the desire to break free from constraints and routine. The catchy chorus and upbeat melody contrast with the more introspective message of the lyrics. It's a song that resonates with many people who feel constrained by their circumstances and seek freedom and change.
So this song was appropriate, as it's a good metaphor for modern life. The homeless person is living in a literal box. However, all of the characters are all living in this box as well. Having a lot of money doesn't free you from the system. You just have more options in some ways. We may distract ourselves in this way if we're financially doing well, living in a way that reassures us that we're exempt from life's harsh realities. The homeless guy is a scapegoat of sorts, a symbol of poverty, as it's easy to scoff at him, and they might do so because they're afraid of what he represents, more so than the actual person themselves. Right off the bat, the music jumps in, and we see Quasi-Prince, Danny Joy, and the Batman of Frederick walking through a fancy neighborhood. And then in contrast, jumping back and forth between that and the homeless guy, and also Quasi-Prince as the purple preacher, as I'll call him. So this goes back to the TV thing. You'll see me do this in a number of my videos. A funny little story about that: I had originally intended to use a real TV this time and have it sitting in the shop's window. And I had a DVD made of me singing and whatnot, and I was going to have that playing throughout the video, matching up with the screen and everything. And once again, as fate would have it though, that didn't happen. Just as I went to plug the TV in, it shorted out, and there was a flash. Boom. Wouldn't turn on. Perhaps God was playing a part in this too. I switched to my usual method instead, as far as having this TV part in my video. I just green screened it onto a TV image. And this way I was able to add this 1-800-cash thing too, kind of going back to the business and religion concept, so that works out too. I also vowed to myself I wouldn't do the TV thing again, not for a while at least. That was also getting to be a thing. It just felt right though. Also some nice shots of the fountain in Baker Park, adding that elegant vibe, the wealth vibe. We lucked out on this one. This big house was empty, so we were able to film there with no problems. All the locations came together for us. It feels like God was on our side when we made this. And this house is very expensive though, so maybe they've had some trouble finding someone to buy it. Make sure to buy a lot of my merch so I can do that. This is a cool Easter egg right here. When I get up close to the camera, you can see the Batman of Frederick is the one holding the camera. Shout out to Jeff for coming up with that one. Good idea. Oh, and the infamous sign again. Maybe one day it'll be worth millions. I can use that to buy that big house. Now this little segue section to represent Nightfall. Another thing that pops back up. This is the same alley we filmed parts of Fred Rock City. Here we are looking like Michael Jackson's Beat It video. Now here we have a split screen shot. Finally get the meeting between Quasi-Prince and Homeless Guy. Those are their official names, by the way. If you notice in the background, you can see some art by the legendary local artist Goodlow Byron. It's funny because these are actually the legs of a dinosaur, but I always thought this had the shape of Batman's head. And with the Batman of Frederick in the mix, I thought that was a bit of a cool Easter egg too. Once again, they just walk by, dismissing the homeless guy. And you'll notice here the $100 bill crucifix. No, these are not real bills, just prop ones. But they're convincing enough on camera. Another idea I got from that movie to represent the overlap of business and religion. In the next scene, one of the television ones, you get a really good shot of it as well. It's there in the other TV shots, but in this particular one, you get a very good view of it, which is cool. Another thing I thought was funny, in some scenes, I have this Bluetooth speaker, and in others I don't. Jeff thought it would be more homeless looking without the speaker, which I can relate to. I liked some of the scenes with the speaker so much though, that I couldn't help but use them. Here's living in a box, running around in a box. And I thought this was also cool, because it conveys the idea of we're all just running around this box, trying to make ends meet, stay afloat. Or maybe we already have built this empire, but again, the rich are not exempt. Maybe we're running to make it even larger, or to keep it from crashing down? Maybe both. Ah, yes, now here I am playing the $100 bill crucifix like a guitar. Call it the $100 bill crucifix guitar. I think that's kind of catchy. Also with the Batman of Frederick on the inflatable guitar and Danny Joy on the plastic cup drums. So we're like the hobo band. Danny Joy thought it was funny that in one scene, this gang is walking by a homeless guy, literally looking down on him. Now they're all jamming out? It doesn't really make sense. I thought it was neat, but that the 80s music videos did that a lot, having nonsensical plot lines. It's like, wait, I thought these people were enemies and now they're dancing together? And we're going kind of 80s in this vid anyway, so, yeah. And another shout out to Jeff for this idea as well. He brought a lot of great energy and spur of the moment concepts while we filmed. I added in some clips from an interview with Johnny Dollar, a Minneapolis pimp, who offers some great advice about women, but also life in general. It's a great interview and can apply to people who want to learn more about the pimp game or just the life game in general. And in this one, he's talking about, don't go for the girl you like. Go for the one who likes you. I found this relevant because the dynamic here between Quasi Prince and Danny Joy is for sure more about him trying to impress his girl with money. It's not a genuine connection, so tying right in with that theme of the song. Bonus points for realizing Johnny Dollar is from Minneapolis, same as Prince, and a similar shirt. Complements that theme nicely as well. While I'm watching the interview, I found another part that was very relevant.
Now I'm in love with money and success in life. And of course, the man upstairs.
So religion is important to you?
Yeah, man, I believe in God, man. I never would be, this age and been so many places to have so much knowledge in his brain, if I didn't believe in God. God saves me.
So there you go. Someone who's found that balance of God and money. He's the answer here in this video. This next scene, Danny Joy was saying this was actually an outtake. It turned out so cool though. I like using scenes sometimes that are off. They're very natural. In this case, she was actually trying to do this. The scene that's used just moments later in the video. She was too close to the camera though, she said, so by the time she went to throw her jacket behind her, the timing was off. It adds a cool feel though. In these next couple of scenes, I switch up the TV clips. I had to get Brick House in here. These are all little samples to tie in with the concept. This scene was an interesting choice. As far as the continuity thing again, I really wanted to maintain the idea that it's nighttime now. And as you saw, we have the sunset clip not too far off from the halfway point of the video to designate this. This creates a distinction of a turning point in the video, a vibe shift. However, after all the debating about what scenes to use in what order, it was hard to not use this clip in this section. It had a nice cinematic feel to it, and I wanted to keep conveying that religious theme. I thought, if I use it in this way, like we're entering the TV, it's almost like we're time traveling, as if to say it's still actually nighttime. After the nightfall clip, you'll see the TV itself is always in the dark afterwards, but we're simply doing a flashback of sorts in this way. I thought this was a good solution aesthetically, a way I can create a daytime scene without breaking the timeline. This takes us to a somewhat spooky breakdown section. I wanted to separate somewhat and go into this strange, kind of floaty vibe. I like doing that in my songs, taking a step back, deconstructing the groove, getting a different perspective of it. This scene right here, I was originally going to do an Inception type effect. With how the camera rotates. We were rushing through though, just to film everything, so I just used a rotation effect. And I still like it. I can always do the other thing in another video. Then we go into this weird AI clip. Also, originally, I was going to have us literally dress up and recreate a live action version of the Devil card from the tarot deck, where a man and a woman is bound in chains by the devil, but the clasps around their necks are large enough that they could escape at any time. This represents that the devil has no real hold on them. It's only by their own belief that he has power over them, that he can keep them in these chains, feeding into negative energy. In the tarot, in its upright position, it represents materialism and greed, addiction and dependency, feeling trapped, and obsessive behavior. Many of the themes explored in this video. However, in its reversed meaning, it represents breaking free from these patterns. Quote,
The Devil card encourages self-reflection and awareness of the darker aspects of one's personality and life. It's a reminder to take control of your own destiny and not be controlled by negative influences.
So this ties in directly with the subject matter of the song. I like how this clip turned out though. It's pretty trippy for sure. You might also notice the eerie voice clip playing in the background. It's actually a secret message playing in reverse. I made this creepy message using Fruity's speech synthesizer and reversing it. You might wonder what it's saying though. Being that the album is called Record Street, I found it fitting that we have the classic reverse message thrown in. You know, like you're playing the record backwards. That was the thing with records. And that was fun to have that, these weird Easter eggs. And adding in this also classic devil mythos. How retro. There's a few other scenes. We go into our outro section, the end of the song. I get to feature my hobo shuffle. I like how it all pulls back here. It has a full circle kind of feel. Seeing the fancy neighborhood scene for a quick moment, back to the beginning, and we see the TV going back to daytime. Then we bid the homeless guy farewell. Bye, homeless guy. Ah, yes, and now, the essential final segment of my documentaries, outtakes.
Oh, yeah, like that. And then kind of like take the hat on, put it back on, take it off, put it back on, and just kind of look at me, yeah. Nice. Do it one more time. Yep, and then now look out this way and don't make eye contact with the camera when you do it, and just kind of do the same thing. Yeah, one more time. Nice, there we go. Okay, cool.
This dude, I mean, just like whatever poses you might feel. Yeah, I'm kind of hopping to hit in and out of all of them. So even if you did the same one a couple times, let me see it a couple times, okay?
Oh, it's like I'm opening my
Yeah, keep posing, man, keep posing.
Going home and editing it.
Yeah.
Starting it is like one of the best things. Then you know you have it right there. Everything. You have
I like that one. That one's good. Yeah.
And editing with this quality of footage and stuff, this lighting and everything and all that.
Oh, we got something behind.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, action.
A little bit.
Yeah. So try not to move left to right so much. If I keep you right in the middle, I have a great backlight on you and it looks amazing, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, action. Oh, wow. Okay, so... All right, you ready?
Okay.
All right, 3, 2, 1. That was it.
Okay, good.
That was it.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Okay, yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, action. Ooh, that's good. That's good. Walk a little slower than that. All right, 3, 2, 1, action.
We always edit out the awkward stuff. I always do awkward stuff in every video. Always just edit it out.
Nice, and then stop for a second. Kind of do another hair flip there for a second. Nice, and look out that way. And then I'm gonna say 3, 2, 1. I want you to turn right towards me and give me like the sauciest look you can give me, okay? It's like sweet and sour sauce. All right, 3, 2, 1. Ooh, a little slower than that with the face movement.
Okay.
Just kind of like as if you were like,
Like slow mo.
yeah,
Okay,
whatever
okay.
saucy looks like to you, okay? But that's that speed. Because I'm already shooting slow motion, so it doesn't need to be like super slow, but just not as fast as you just did. 3, 2, 1. Yes, that was perfect.
Okay.
Oh, man.
What happened? Oh, you got an alarm.
Oh, an alarm.
Yeah, you can take it from there. Whenever you have a time, like throw the rose at my camera. It'd be kind of cool. Like do it when you're singing though.
Like a lot slower.
Okay.
But like with more like, yeah, gusto. More machismo.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are we gonna walk like?
We're just gonna walk towards me and like walk with more purpose than you ever had in your life. Like you're about to get an abortion or something.
I know what that's like, so I'll tap into that.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, let's go quick. Sunday. All right, 3, 2, 1, let's walk. Oh, over that wall there. Nice. All right, so I'll count 3, 2, 1, and we'll get you guys going, okay? All right. All right, 3, 2, 1, action. Dude, that's so cool. All right, we ready, guys?
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go ahead. Just walk right past me without looking at me, do the hair flip. Yeah.
How was that?
Freex Out. Yeah, hell yeah, there you go. Yeah, this is so awesome.
So that smoke.
Yeah, the back-to-back's nice. Do the back-to-back again. Do the back-to-back. And then, Dan, let me get you in there, like, looking at them. Yeah, like, looking at them and playing. Yeah, back up to them a little bit, yeah. A little closer to them. Yeah, back to them a little bit more. Yeah, like that. Yeah, freestyle. Walk wherever you want. Do whatever you want. Make it wild.
You know that you Freex Out.
Let's all take 2 steps back. Perfect.
Nice.
That was good.
Hell yeah, that was fun.
So the last one we need now, in my opinion, it could be cool if we do one more take of everybody together, and I get a closer take, move around, and then we're done.
Okay, cool.
Or it's just you, and I shoot you, and we're done, or whatever. Or whatever else you want after this too. But
I'm open.
You know, I think if we finish this last shot, we have everything we need. But whatever you else want past that is up to you. But I'm just letting you know that, like, right now, I think we could do this one last shot, and we'll be good. We'll be very good, man.
As long as I get one, I had an idea where it's like I'm kind of like this is it, the end, and I just kind of walk off in slow motion, whatever.
In the homeless
kind of like
thing?
just like this.
Yeah. So let's just do the last shot of just you singing then, and then once you're done, walk away.
Oh, okay, cool.
You know what I mean?
All right, cool.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Do we need to move for that car?
They'll figure it out.
Okay.
They'll figure it out. That way it'd be like kind of disappointed, yeah. Go ahead. A little less stiff with the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, right there. Look out to your left though, like as if they were walking from that direction.
All right. Wait, because they were like already went by.
Yeah, because they're walking by. Imagine they walk right past you and you're looking at them.
Oh,
and then
I was
you
thinking
react
like they
after
already
they
went.
walk past you.
But you want to just get it from a different angle when I'm
Exactly.
doing it. Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. Sorry,
okay.
man.
That was a little like forced.
That was a little too much. Yeah.
All right. I can try it again.
Yeah.
Try it again. Okay.
Try it again.
Okay.
Don't reach the cup out so much.
All right. Trying to get like the timing
we'll do
of
one more
like how
time.
they're going around the corner.
Yep. And I'm gonna get a little more from the side this time. Okay.
Just takes a little practice.
Yeah. You're good.
Great. Cool.
That was perfect. All right. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Action. That was perfect. Woo. Hey!
Embrace the power of the hobo.
That's it?
That's it.
Do it again. Do it one more time just for safety.
Okay.
Yeah. And Batman, let me have you take a step a little bit behind the light stand.
Behind the light stand?
Yeah, next to Danny.
Oh, okay.
Just so you're not making any shadows or something.
My bad. That was in the way.
You're good, man. You're good. All right, we'll do it again.
All right, cool.
Do we need to do the reaction shot of you looking that way now?
Yeah, then I'm gonna get those.
Okay. So before we do that, am I done with this tripod shot? That's it? Or do you want to do the shot of you pretending like you're watching them look at you walk away past you?
Yeah, I was gonna say because
Remember we did that shot like you're walking
we still
past.
need it there. We
They
still
look
need it
at
there
you
for that.
and you wave like you did like that.
Yeah.
We should have a shot of you reacting to that.
That's what. Yeah,
Let's
that's what
do
we
that
need to
real
do.
quick.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
So okay, I have here says listening, living in a box. Simulate Prince, a girl walking by, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
All that. That's on here.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
I think that's cute.
Yep. So at this point, I'm already rolling still, so just do it a couple times as if you're pretending they're looking at you.
Yeah. All right.
That was good.
Okay, cool.
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't want her to come
Do that again. Do that again. Maybe look a little more sad.
Okay. I thought. Okay. I was like, he was looking that way. So I thought it was cute to come there and then look at.
Put your cup up. Do that again. Look a little less concerned.
A little less
and look a little more desperate.
Okay. All right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And put the cup up earlier.
All right.
And maybe let's move the Bluetooth speaker away.
Okay.
I think that is not going to.
Okay.
It'd be funny to have be homeless and all you have is a Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah, because homeless people don't have speakers.
Yeah. All right, there we go.
All right. Something like that.
That was good.
Okay, cool.
Let's do one more like that.
One more.
Yeah.
Okay.
And change it up in a way that you know.
Okay.
So whatever's different than what you just did.
All right.
And let's do it one more time with you singing the song just because I removed the Bluetooth speaker. Living
Okay.
in a box.
Okay.
Let's do it one more time just because
Okay.
I moved the speaker.
Okay.
So,
All right.
can you play that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever you're ready.
Living in a box.
Nice. Good.
All right, cool.
Good. So come up that close when you're going to say something, but otherwise take a step back so I can see the dancers behind you.
What's that?
I said come up that close when you're going to sing something, but otherwise take a step
okay,
back
yeah.
so I can see the dancers.
Nah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Cool, man.
I like that.
That was good.
I had another idea, some stuff to splice in there.
Yeah.
Step a little closer to me, Daryl. Maybe even go down one step. Yeah. Oh, I like that for this dancing part too, actually.
So let's smoke. Jesus.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Am I living in a box? Am I living in a cardboard box? Am I living in a box? Am I living in a cardboard box? Am I living in a box?
Yeah. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Let's move back a couple steps. I don't like this electrical box. Let's keep going. Hell yeah. Yeah. All right, looks good. All right, 3, 2, 1, action.
Nice.
Nice.
I feel like that was my best one.
Okay, cool.
I had a little practice.
Yeah, let's.
Funky cheese. That's awesome. Hell yeah, thank you. Nice. Nice to meet you. Yeah, you too. Nice. What are you guys doing?
Music video. Are you ready? Yeah. All right, 3, 2, 1, action. Perfecto. All right, guys. Let me know when you're in position. Good. All right, 3, 2, 1, action. That's cool.
good?
That's
Cool.
cool.
Okay, cool.
Let me have you walk down this way then.
Okay.
Speed you were going, yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys. 3, 2, 1, action. Walk nice and slow. There it is. Get a little less of that arm swing.
To me?
Yeah, it was just a little much. Trying to get in front of this trash can. Kind of look out my way, but not towards my camera. Like not at my camera. Just faces towards this direction, yep. Cool? Cool, got it. Nice. Yeah, it looks great.
Cool.
That looks really good. You guys can do some extra stuff, put the hat on, put the glasses, take them off, put them back on or whatever. It looks kind of cool right now. All right, cool. Let's step out for a second. 3, 2, 1, go. Nice. All right. You guys ready? We're just going to walk past this, but we got to have more confidence, more energy in this one. Don't look at my camera. And we're ready. 3, 2, 1, action. Yeah. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Nice, cool, cool, cool. Yeah. All right. Just to get some of these cool colors right now.
And then next, if you go down to market, I guess this thing where it gets too dark.
Yep. Yeah, you still want to do that fountain scene though by Baker Park?
If it's really quick, yeah, we could do that.
Because we're pretty close to it right now. Yeah. On the way back to downtown, we can.
Thank you once again, as always, for checking out the documentary. Hope you enjoy the official video. And you can hit me up about checking out the full-length album, Record Street. Catch you guys on the flip side. All right, peace.
Said you know what you need. She's a freak, so sexy.